There was a shakeup today in the Baltimore Police Department. Justice correspondent Jeff Pegues reports the commissioner was fired.
So we need a change.
Mayor Stephanie Rawlings Blake announced the change that many said was long overdue. She said questions about Commissioner Anthony Batts' leadership were distracting from the fight against crime.
Too many continue to die on our streets, including 3 just last night and 1 lost earlier today. Families are tired of feeling this pain.
Batts had been in charge of the police department since 2012. In late April, he faced his biggest test after riots exploded in the city in the wake of the death of Freddie Gray in police custody. 6 officers have since been charged in the case. That created a rift between Batts and his officers. They accused him of putting them in harm's way during the riots. He was recorded apologizing to the police union at a closed-door meeting in May.
I want to come here and tell you guys that I think I let you guys down. And I say that with a humble heart.
Despite the apology, some questioned whether police were easing up on arrests in protest. Homicides spiked in the weeks after the riots. There were 42 murders in May, after 22 in April, and 15 in March.
Former Baltimore Mayor Stephanie Rawlings Blake believed, and I quote, "It was time for a change. The families of the slain are tired and hurt." If what the former mayor said was true, then why haven't we seen these hurt families on the front lines at city council meetings? You would also see slain family members, loved ones protesting and encouraging peace in the streets of Baltimore. These black single mothers would also refuse to raise their children in such a harsh and dangerous environment, but that's not the case.
Did you fail in Baltimore?
Fail? No. Did we do everything that I wanted to do in time? No. We made a lot of gains there in Baltimore that would be built on.
Did you regret what happened the night of that the riots erupted? Whose idea was it not to engage? Was it the mayor? Was it you?
Never
Did you
happened.
go along with her orders?
It never happened.
What happened?
There was rumors and innuendos that there was some type of stand-down order, and that was put out by the union.
You said that never happened.
No, there was no stand-down order. It never happened.
Today is Kevin Davis's first full day on the job without that interim tag as Baltimore City Police Commissioner. He has been running the department since the summer when Mayor Stephanie Rawlings Blake fired Anthony Batts, but now Davis legitimately is Baltimore's top cop. In Focus, investigators sat down with Davis for a conversation on what the city can expect from his administration. Brian Kubler joins us now with more. Brian.
Jamie, Kevin Davis takes over a department that is fighting through a morale problem, the trial of 6 of its officers, and tense relationships with the community it serves. It is a tall order, but one Davis feels is an opportunity to effect meaningful change.
I state your name.
Kevin Davis.
No longer intern, Commissioner Kevin Davis can sit tight for now. He's now leading the nation's 8th largest police department and arguably one of the most embattled as it fights some of the worst homicide and shooting numbers in a decade. You want it, you got it.
To put it bluntly, why in the world would you want this job at this time in this city?
Because it's an opportunity to do something that needs to be done for this city, for this state, and this profession. And I can't think of any other place I'd rather be.
Oh, she trying to hit her. What the f?
American policing is at a crossroads, and Davis feels that intersection is at Fayette and President Streets. While he has ideas for better community relations and cultural sensitivity for his Baltimore Police Department, driving down this spike in violent crime is paramount, calming what Davis alludes to as an arms race on the streets in post-riot Baltimore. Key stats convince him he has a certain population in this city consistently on guard.
Even after Anthony Batts' termination by Stephanie Rawlings Blake, Baltimore had 344 murders in the year of 2015. Let's say we give the new commissioner Kevin Davis a pass in 2015 after joining the Baltimore Police Department mid-year. Well, in 2016, with a fresh start and new commissioner, Baltimore had 319 murders. Just last year in 2017 there were 343 murders, so what happens now, some may ask.
We join you with breaking news this morning. Baltimore Mayor Catherine Pugh has replaced Police Commissioner Kevin Davis. You are looking live at City Hall, where a news conference will take place momentarily, and the mayor will introduce a new police commissioner, Daryl D. DeSouza. He replaces Kevin Davis, who is a lifelong Marylander and 25-year police veteran. He's led the Baltimore Police Department since 2015. In a statement this morning, Mayor Catherine Pugh says we are not achieving the pace of progress that our residents have every right to expect in the weeks since we ended what was nearly a record year for homicides. As such, I've concluded that a change in leadership is needed at City Police headquarters. Right now, the mayor is getting ready to announce that Deputy Commissioner Daryl D. DeSouza will replace Davis as the department's 40th police commissioner. WJZ is live at City Hall. Investigator Mike Helgren is there as we await the beginning of this press conference. Mike, we're going to go straight to the press conference.
Deputy Commissioner D'Souza as Commissioner for the Baltimore City Police Department. For those of you who don't know, for the last year I had an opportunity to interact with our police department over the last year. I've gotten to know many of our law enforcement officers, commanders, and those who've been working with this police department. I want you to know that I worked side by side with Commissioner Davis, hardworking, but I'm impatient. We need violence reduction. We need the numbers to go down faster than they are. I can tell you with the initiative that I put in place about 10, 11 weeks ago that we are trending downward. But I believe that Commissioner D'Souza understands how important this is and how impatient I am, and will now take the helm of the Baltimore Police Department. So, Commissioner D'Souza.
Thank you, ma'am. I appreciate it.
For those of you who don't know, Commissioner D'Souza is a 30-year veteran of the Baltimore Police Department, and as I consulted with other folks in my administration and who've had this kind of experience, I thought that at this particular point in time to look inside of our police department for those who demonstrated outstanding careers, that was important to all of the officers. And so this is my choice, and welcome to your new position as Commissioner of the Baltimore City Police Department.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Appreciate it. Good morning, everybody.
Good morning. Good morning.
So, yes, as Madam Mayor said, I've been with the Baltimore City Police Department just 30 years now, and in those 30 years, I served honorably in all ranks. I'm proud to say that I went through every single rank in the Baltimore City Police Department, and it was a tough challenge. And in those 30 years, a good 90% were directly inside the community itself, all over Baltimore City. And there's a lot of individuals, there's a lot of lives that were lost, there's a lot of people with bleeding hearts, and there's a lot of work that we have to be, that needs to be done. That's number one priority. The priority as of this moment right now, it's really simple. It's just a really simple priority, and that's violent reduction. Second priority is violent reduction, and third priority is violent reduction at accelerated pace. That's the bottom line. Secondly, my plan is to immediately put more uniformed police officers on the streets. We have men and women in the police department that do a valuable job every single day. Detectives, officers in every single of the 9 districts. They serve honorably. They pour their hearts out on a regular basis. In fact, I spoke to a young officer in the Southern District just 2 days ago. He's actually in his second surgery in reference to an injury he sustained wrestling a gun away from a suspect in South Baltimore. I just spoke to him. And his words were real simple. He says, "Sir, I want to hurry up and get back to work." And these are the type of officers that we have in the Baltimore City Police Department. The other thing I'd like to mention really quick in terms of my focus almost immediately is to build on the violent repeat offenders that plague the city, the trigger pullers who we know, and I have a real strong message for the trigger pullers, is that we're coming after them. It's going to be accelerated pace. The district commanders in all 9 districts know who they are, and we're coming after them. And I want to let everybody know it's going to be done in a constitutional manner. So I'm very proud, I'm very honored of Madam Mayor and my selection. I'm very proud to be a Baltimorean, and I look forward to the fight, like literally ASAP. So when I say ASAP, I mean today we have an initiative that started about 30 minutes ago and is specifically designed to reduce violence. It started at 9 o'clock this morning and is spread out throughout the entire city. And the first set of officers that are coming on the streets, they came on at 9 a.m. There's another wave that comes on at 10 a.m. There's another wave that comes on at 11 a.m. And this wave is going to continue all the way to the midnight hour. And this initiative is going to be ongoing. The citizens of Baltimore can expect to see a reduction. The citizens of Baltimore can expect to see us getting in front of crime immediately.
Mayor Catherine Pugh believed a solution to the high spikes of crime over the last 2 years was to terminate the former commissioner Kevin Davis. She didn't mention or solve any real issues according to the high spikes in crime. The cancers that plague Baltimore are your black single mothers, the high unemployment rate with black men, the repeat criminals who are released back on the streets at alarming numbers. Your failed corrupt justice system with Marilyn Mosby. Your Baltimore public school system is in shambles. The so-called black communities of Baltimore love criminals and anything pertaining to crime. There is a non-snitching policy in Baltimore where criminals get to walk around as gods because they are domestic terrorists. Commissioner Darrell DeSosa, you really want crime reduction in Baltimore. A real plan of action is the following. The first thing that needs to be done is actually getting the community involved. The community has to be tired and fearless. If that doesn't happen, your mayor will continue to fire and rehire new commissioners every year because Baltimore is destined for 300 plus murders a year for the next 50 years. When you have a community glorifying criminals and putting them on a pedestal, what do you get? You get a community with no shame and a cycle continuing. There will be casualties, but if the people that reside in those violent communities take a stand, it really make a difference. It will make Baltimore City Police jobs easier as the people in those communities are protecting their own neighborhoods by enforcing common sense and logic. When you have a group of women who's willing to have children in an environment where it's a war zone, no logic, no responsibility, and you can't tell her right from wrong, this is what you get. The majority of men and women that reside in the urban areas of Baltimore were raised by black single mothers. It's a matriarchal culture in Baltimore where the black woman is a god. This woman gets to lie on her back and openly chooses horrible mates to reproduce with while crippling future generations as it is taught from one generation to the next. Baltimore will have 300 plus murders in 2018 because of the following that was stated. My advice to the new commissioner: just get your money and cash out because you cannot stop a already downward spiral cycle and group of people that doesn't want it to change.